Hey, this is a little shout out for Suzette in the Netherlands. Hey, Suzette, how are you? It's Michael Trucco, also known as Tucker Henry III, call sign Spoon, from a little series called Pensacola, Wings of Gold. Look at that. I thought that was appropriate. I'm so glad you contacted me. That's amazing. You touched a soft spot in my heart when you brought up Pensacola, Wings of Gold. That's my first series, as you may know. It's also where I met my wife, Ice. So it is definitely near and dear to my heart. It's one of the greatest experiences of my life. So here we are. Thank you so much for reaching out to me. I'm so glad we got a chance to do this. I see that you've got a few questions about the show, about life in general, about my career, my roles, my bucket list when it comes to different roles. These are all great questions. You asked, what was it like to play the role of Spoon? Well, I mean, it goes without saying. One of the most gratifying experiences of my entire life. We got backseat rides in actual FA-18 fighter jets. So, yeah, we had a simulator on set. And we did a lot of green screen. But when I mean we got actual rides, we were in the real deal. Like, no bullshit. We were flying training hops out of El Toro Air Base in California, and they had two cameras mounted on the seat in front of us, and they were shooting us each individually in the jet for like 90 minutes. That's probably one of the greatest experiences of my life. It was exhilarating and terrifying all at the same time. And it wasn't easy. We had like 3 days of physiology and training. We had to do all kinds of stuff to be qualified, even just to get a ride. But it looked badass because they used the footage, a lot of the footage. They could intersplice it into the show. So that probably is one of the greatest memories I have of making that series. That's a once-in-a-lifetime experience to get to actually, fly an FA-18. And we did get to fly it, by the way, just in case you're wondering. There was a time when the pilot who was in command took his hands off the stick, off the throttles, and said, "Okay, Spoon, you have the jet." And I was like, "I do?" And he goes, "Yeah, you have the jet." And so I took the stick, I took the throttles, if you jink the stick just a little bit to the left or right, boom, that jet is so precise. And sure enough, I was flying the jet, and we did maneuvers. We did scissor turns, we did aileron rolls, we did Immelmans, loops. It was pretty crazy. You want to know which role would tick all your boxes? There are so many. I have to think about that one. Which would tick all my boxes. I'm always drawn. I really want to play a detective. It's weird because I've done a lot of different roles and I've kind of danced around that a little bit on Castle. But I'm talking. I did a pilot last year that had a potential to go, and it was going to be playing an LAPD detective. But my dad was a cop, so that's something that always resonates with me. Anything in the world, police world, really resonates with me. It's something that I feel deeply connected to. What else did you want to know? You play, what character is most like you? I played a lot of bad guys. They're definitely not like me. Yikes. But they're fun to play. I'd say probably, Spoon was pretty close, but he was a better pilot than I was. He could actually land on an aircraft carrier. I can't do that. I would say maybe Anders from Battlestar Galactica. That was a character that was very near and dear to my heart, and I put hopefully a lot of my own essence and self into that role. So I'd say he's pretty good, likeness for me. And you asked about passions besides acting. Well, that's ironic because look at that right there. We have a passion for animals, as you can see, because they're everywhere. I take my animals very seriously. We love our babies. I love car racing. I love motorcycles. I love guitar. I played guitar in a band for many years, so there's lots of stuff that I'd like to do on the side. I hope this answered all your questions. Man, I feel like I could go on forever. This is ridiculous. We're going on 5 minutes. Suzette, I am boring you to tears. I hope you're not bored. Please tell me you're not bored. This has been great. Hopefully we're going to do this again soon. Thank you so much for reaching out. I hope you have a wonderful day. Lots of love, lots of light to you. Take care, Suzette.
Hello, Suzette. This is Sandra Hess. How are you? Thank you so much for your cameo request. I am so excited to be chatting with you for a little bit. I got myself a glass of wine. Cheers. So that we can be cozy, because you asked me quite a few questions. Yes, so Pensacola Wings of Gold. Wasn't it fun? I tell you, it was such a great experience for me, of course, as you know, because I met Michael. Excuse me, this is my cameo.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, is that Suzette?
Yeah, it's Suzette.
Hey, Suzette. Sorry.
Out!
Sorry.
Jesus, he's such a scene stealer. What the heck? Anyway, I was saying, I met him, of course, doing Pensacola, and how that happened actually was that we had met at a premiere about 6 months before Pensacola, and he was doing a movie with my ex-boyfriend. I'm giving you a little bit of the dirt. Not everybody knows this. He was doing a movie with my ex-boyfriend, and excuse me? What the?
What's up?
It's my cameo, and weren't you just wearing a Pensacola jacket?
I don't think so.
Oh, I think you were. Are you trying to impress Suzette? Do you see this, Suzette?
Oh, Suzette. Hey, did I do that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you did.
I'm sorry. I'll just...
Out.
Okay.
Out.
Okay.
Unbelievable, the nerve. Anyway, I was saying, so I met him at this premiere, and he was playing a real doofus, you know, like this really muscly guy, a soap opera actor who didn't have much in his head. It was all in the muscles. And I remember coming out of that movie and I thought, oh my God, that guy is so dumb. And I said this to my boyfriend at the time, and my boyfriend said, oh, no, au contraire, he's super smart. And I was like, yeah, I don't think so. And sure enough, 6 months later, I got cast with him on Pensacola. And I remember when I first showed up, I thought, oh no, now I'm gonna have to work with this guy. And of course, the second I spent some time with him, I realized how wrong I was. And of course, he was just a really good actor, which is why he made me believe that he was so dumb in that other role. But it was amazing, so many great memories. You know, we were best friends, and out of that beautiful friendship eventually became more than that, and it was an amazing experience to do that together. I will never forget it. To this day, I think it's my favorite experience ever. And you know, we got to fly in F-18s, and we got to be on an aircraft carrier. We got to shoot at Miramar Air Station once a week. It was just amazing, fantastic. And Kenny Johnson as well. I'm sure you know Kenny Johnson. He was amazing as well. We were a nice little family. Let's see, what's the next thing? You also asked me, I believe, what pet would be the best actor of the pets in our family. I believe that would be this one, little Stella. Yes, say hi, Suzette. Hi, Suzette. Stella is just quite the character. She came to us. She came to us from a rescue, and she was scared of everything and anybody. And now she's just quite a little actor, and she can almost talk. So now you met Stella. Here you go. What else did you ask me? Let's see. Daytime, General Hospital, Young and the Restless. You know, General Hospital was this role that was offered to me, actually. I didn't read for it, and I remember I was like, okay, so I'm playing a character named Sasha Donev. Okay, that's Russian, and then the whole storyline had to do with Russians, so I thought, okay, I should probably do a Russian accent, which I do quite well, I must say. And I showed up on set, and they're like, no, we really just want you to talk with your own accent. And I thought, okay, great, all right, I think it's a mistake, but I'll do it. And sure enough, once all the comments came out, everybody was like, well, okay, but that woman, it's like she doesn't have a Russian accent. Her Russian accent sucks. I was like, I was not trying to do a Russian accent. That was just my accent. Anyway, so I did about 33 episodes, not that long. It's a little bit of a different experience than being on like a nighttime show because you don't spend that much time with the other actors. And yeah, what else? Switzerland. Yeah, we usually go about once a year. Michael loves it. He wants to live there.
Love it.
Shh, on the cheap seats.
Gotta go.
He would love to live there. We go back about once a year to see my family. And it's always beautiful. It's a beautiful country. I don't know if you've been, but it's a beautiful country. And I have to come and see your country, that's for sure. So I hope I answered all your questions. It was lovely spending some time with you. And I wish you and your family all the very, very best. Sorry for my camera hogger, but that might have been a nice little bonus for you. And have a wonderful rest of the day. Take care. Bye.
Hey, Suzette. How are you? It's Michael Trucco again. Here we are. It's good to talk to you again. Thanks for reaching out. I appreciate it. Here we are. I have to say, your cameos are some of the most unique because you have a very specific set of questions that are rather diverse and interesting, and I appreciate that. So let's get to it. Pardon if you have to forgive the glasses, but I can't see the font without it. I know, it's giving my age away. So let's see. Oh yeah, the first question you asked me is where did I get that Dutch jacket that I was wearing? That's the one you caught in that little flyby I did in Sandra's cameo earlier. It's funny, I got that actually, it's not a very glamorous story. It was at a little shop on Melrose here in Los Angeles. When I first moved here, it's I was going in, they had, specialized in like European football wear, and there was all these different zip-up sweatshirts, and that one caught my eye because it was bright orange. And it wasn't until I got it down I saw Netherlands written across the back, and I was like, you know what? I dig it. It's cool. It's bright. It's good pedestrian safety, crossing the street, easily spot me in a crowd. So, yeah, I had to have it, and I still own it to this day. I dig it. Let's see, what else did you ask me? Could you please tell us about your music? Oh, my God, how much time do we have? How do I answer that? I could tell you everything and absolutely nothing because I don't know where I would start. I play guitar in a band called Simple World. We were playing clubs here in Los Angeles. We played the Viper Room. We played Whiskey. We played the Cat Club. We used to play up in San Francisco. We started largely as a cover band and then started exclusively writing our own original music. And I think I mentioned I played guitar in the band, and I miss it. I loved it. It's an incredible, beautiful, creative outlet. And I still get together with some of the other guys in the band every so often. We'll get together and pick up a few acoustic guitars, and we just jam around a little bit. But we haven't played as a unit, as a band, with our full setup, our full gear in years. So maybe, who knows? Never say never. We might go on tour. I don't know. You want to know also if I have any anxieties about my father being a cop. That's a really interesting question. I have to say, where I grew up in a small town in Northern California, I don't know. I don't think that I had any specific anxieties. I never thought of it in those terms. My dad was sort of... he was bulletproof, as a kid, your father's your hero, and I didn't think that any harm could come his way, and maybe that's just naive, but that's just what I believed, and there was times it got dicey. The phone would ring in the middle of the night, and he would get a call, and there was a situation that he had to go to, and it sort of raises your adrenaline a little bit, but I gotta be honest, I didn't have an anxiety about my father being a cop. I was never concerned. It didn't scare me at all. In fact, I was totally taken by it, and I thought that's what I might do for a living, is become a cop. So, and finally, which role was mentally draining and why? Oh, man, Boy, there's so many, and for so many different reasons, but something, if I had to answer that question off the top of my head, I would have to say there was a role that I played in a show called Law and Order SVU, which is, they always deal with really heavy cases and sexual offenders, and I had to play a serial rapist, a guy that had a cachet of films from women that he was drugging and raping, and man, that was horrible. It was great. I loved the job, of course, but what a horrible mindset to put yourself in, and to have to go to set and basically walk in the shoes of a character like that was dark. And I was glad when it was done, and when it aired, people were like, "Holy crap, man, you were horrible." I was like, "Oh, thanks. I think that's good." And they said, "Yeah, never do that again. Don't ever play that character again." So I think that got the desired effect. But yeah, that one was pretty mentally draining. Anyhow, again, I feel like I ramble whenever I talk to you. We're approaching 5 minutes here. I hope I didn't bore you. Always a pleasure catching up with you, Suzette. Thank you so much for reaching out. I hope you have a great day. Talk to you soon. Take care. Hey, Suzette. It's Michael Trucco again. How are you? Here we are, round 3. I'm impressed, I have to say. Thank you for inviting me back into your world again. You always have interesting requests, interesting questions, and you touched on something that's obviously near and dear to my heart. Yes, I do play guitar. Something that I've been doing since I was a teenager. And so you wanted to hear, I don't know, something a little strum on the guitar, a little riff or something. And I don't want to bore you, but this is something that I learned early on when I first started to play guitar, was this little ditty from Led Zeppelin called Over the Hills and Far Away. It goes a little something like this. That's that. That's a little something that I loved, that piece. I thought that was really incredible. I really don't do it justice. Trust me, Jimmy Page stands alone in that department. Nobody can touch him when it comes to the guitar, but he can merely inspire people like me to want to play better. But what else? I got to look at the screen here because you had all these cool questions. You said, oh God, if I could go back in time, which role would it be? I've always felt like I missed the boat on Superman. That was always a dream, lifelong dream of mine, to be able to don the cape and play Superman. And the Clark Kent dichotomy, the duality of that role was really, really interesting to me. And unfortunately, I'm a little long in the tooth for that. A little too many grays in the beard for that role now. But, that would be my time capsule dream. And you want to know about Through the Glass Darkly? Yeah, this is an independent film that's coming up. It should be released, I think, on the independent circuit. I don't know how much I can tell you, really, because I think it's a cool little mystery. It's socially relevant. It has some really interesting insight into Alzheimer's, which is an incredibly topical subject right now. And let's just say I'm not really the hero of this movie. I'm more of an anti-hero. Yeah, you'll just have to see. Not the nicest guy in the world. Let's see. Oh, I love this one. What's my 80s song? What's your guilty pleasure and why? It's a toss-up. I thought about this. There's something about the song Space Age Love Song by Flock of Seagulls. I don't know if you remember Flock of Seagulls, but this particular tune, Space Age Love Song, has a phenomenal guitar riff in it, and I don't know, it's just this quintessential 80s with the dude with the hair that comes straight down his face and the big wings on the side and the giant collars and the outfits that they wore. They cracked me up. And it was a toss-up between that or Cars by Gary Newman. I don't know, there's something anthemic about that song, Cars. Every time I'm in my car and that song comes on, I just kind of want to roll the window down, stick my arm out the window, and lay the seat back. It just feels kind of badass. This is such useless information, but I hope you enjoy it.
Oh, and finally, you asked, how do you choose a role? Do you look at the script, the director, the crew, etc.? Of course, all those things are vitally important, particularly the script, I think, is paramount. Beyond anything is the story. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Oftentimes, Suzette, in my case, and many actors like me, it's just, we don't always have a choice. We audition, we present ourselves for roles that come up, and if we're lucky enough to get hired, you pick the role based on that. There's a few times I've been offered things, and you base it on the material, and the director is very important. The network, the studio that are producing it all matter, but oftentimes, honestly, I don't really have a choice. If I'm lucky enough to get cast, then I take the gig, and I'm happy to do it. So I'm actually leaving this afternoon. I'm jumping in a plane to Vancouver to go work on a show called The Good Doctor, which is a show on ABC, and that's about all I can tell you about that for now. There will be more to be gleaned from that, but so I'm off. But I wanted to get this in before I left for the weekend. Hope you're good. Thanks for letting me hang out with you again, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care, Suzette.
Hi, Suzette. It's me again. What is this? Is this round 4? That's impressive. I think you might be my one cameo customer. So I'm going to go to the screen here because I can see what you've asked. I need visual aids and I need glasses. So let's get to it. How are you, by the way? Good to hear it. I'm assuming. So you want to know about The Good Doctor. Yeah, how did The Good Doctor go? I got to tell you, on so many levels, it just felt good to be back up in Vancouver, Canada again. I miss that place. It's where I did a lot of work prior to this and spent a lot of years on Battlestar and Fairly Legal, a couple of other gigs, a couple of pilots, I think. So just for my soul, for my own sake, being up there was great. It was well worth it. How did it go? It went great. I can't say it was fun per se. It was a really intense, deep, kind of dark character, dark part, emotional. So not that it wasn't a good time. I mean, not that it wasn't a good experience, but it wasn't fun. I mean, we weren't having a whole barrel of laughs on the set or anything. It was pretty dark, and it was pretty grim at times, but it was good to go to those places, and it was good to do some hard work like that. You want to know what other skills is good to have as an actor? They always say the triple threat: singer, dancer, actor. That's old school. I guess that's stage. I would say the most important asset as an actor I can think of is that you have stage experience. I mean a play. I mean live theater. Whether it's a one-act or a full-length play or a Shakespeare 5-act, epic, one of the classics, Chekhov or Ibsen, I think every actor should get on the boards, as they call it, and get on the stage and have some experience breaking down a play in front of a live studio audience, in front of a live audience. See, there's the television to me. And, I feel like that's a mandatory background. What's the scariest thing you've ever done for your work? Oh, I don't know what the scariest. I don't know if I've ever even thought of it in those terms. We definitely do some stunt work from time to time. I mean, a limited amount. They always have stunt players available for us. I can recall, for example, on One Tree Hill, we had to do a lot of underwater work. There's a scene where a limousine goes off the bridge and it goes upside down and falls into a river, and we shot that in a big, huge underground tank on a soundstage in about 10 feet of water with a limousine sawed in half with the roof on it and the steering wheel and the whole 9 yards. And we had to do a lot of work on scuba gear because we had to stay put in the limo. So that was a little dicey at times. That definitely claustrophobia sets in, and it's weird to be on that. To trust, we had two divers behind us in the seats behind us. When we would roll, they would duck down and hide. And they would tap your shoulder, and they would give you the regulator, so you could get oxygen, and that was pretty dicey. If you could redo an audition, which one would it be and why? There's not enough memory on this phone to fill that time slot. I'll just say, I'll tell you what, all the ones I didn't get. How about that? I wish I could go back and get and redo all the editions of the jobs I didn't get, because somehow, somewhere, you can't help but think in your mind you fucked that up. No matter what the circumstances are, sometimes you're just not the right guy, whatever, you're too tall, too short, too blonde, too dark. There's lots of factors that go into it, but all the ones that I didn't get, I feel like I could have done better. If you can direct an episode of TV, which show would it be and why? Right off the top of my head, I would have to say The Handmaid's Tale. But they would never have me because I am way underqualified for a show of that caliber. But I have immense amount of appreciation for the direction and the art direction in general on that show. I think is fantastic. And man, I really want to cut my teeth. I'd take an episode of a soap opera on daytime TV. It wouldn't matter to me actually that's really hard to direct. I don't think I could do that. I don't care, man. If somebody wanted me to direct a commercial for a local, furniture salesman, I'd do that. I just would love to get back behind the camera and dust off the DJ card and do that again. And so there you have it. That's 5 minutes, just like that. How's that? 5 questions, 5 minutes. Now it's 5:06, 5:07, 5:08, 9, 10, 11, 12. Suzette, you're the best. Go Netherlands. One of these days I'm going to get out there. Great talking to you. Take care. Suzette, hey, it's me. Again. What's this business? You fell down the stairs. I suppose you can't fall up the stairs. That would sort of defy gravity. I've never heard of anybody falling up the stairs, so at least it's good to know gravity works the same in the Netherlands as it does here. Aside from that, I'm terribly sorry. I hope you're okay. I'm assuming you're okay. I imagine you may have twisted an ankle or something. I hope it's not too serious. But I send my best. I send my wishes, my well wishes to you, and sending you lots of light and healing. So here we are, round 5. So it's funny. Your questions are always inventive, I have to say. Let's get to them. You asked me about rewriting the end of a movie. Which would it be and why? Well, I'll tell you what. I would rewrite the ending of A Hunter-Killer so that the character of Devon Hall would not die. And then we would go on to make multiple sequels in which our team of Navy SEALs would go on to save the world in many different arrays and facets. That would be my rewrite of a recent film if I had my druthers. What is the funniest thing that recently happened to you? I was at a premiere with my wife Sandra, and we were guests of Kathy Bates to the premiere of Richard Jewell, and it was at the Chinese Theater in Hollywood. And in the lobby, we're about to go in, and this woman comes up. She goes, "I'm so sorry. Is your name Dane?" And I said, No, I get that a lot. And she goes, "You're not Dane Cook?" I go, "No, I'm afraid not." She goes, "Oh, well, can I get a picture anyway?" So there was that. I even though I'm not the guy, she just thought, to hell with it, might as well get a picture of this guy. He looks like Dane Cook. So if I had $1 for every Dane Cook reference, I'd never have to work another day in my life. If you could take part in the Dakar Rally, who would your co-driver be? And why, and what kind of car? That's a multifaceted question. First of all, I'm blown away that you know about the Dakar Rally. I love rally racing. I'm kind of a WRC guy myself, the World Rally Championship. So if I had to pick a car, it'd be a WRC car. And I've always been really kind of partial to the Subarus. I don't even know if they're racing those anymore. Renault makes a great car. I know Volkswagen's on top of their game. I just think they look very good. I always dug the way those little Subarus looked. I just like the WRC all-wheel drive cars. So if I had to do like a long-distance rally, that's what I'd want to be in. As for co-driver, I have no idea. Somebody super light and somebody who doesn't get car sick. So they could stare at the notes and read while we're doing 180 kilometers an hour down a tiny little lane with big trees on either side. And finally, you asked about Formula One. Do I watch it? Come on. It's me. Racing. It's my jam. Yes. Although I find it colossally boring lately because I think that
money and corporations have just basically infiltrated and, ruined an otherwise beautiful sport. But like so many things, it's all corporatized, it's all monetized. And the 2-3 top biggest teams are always going to win. And that's kind of sad because I always dig, I like drivers like Kimi Räikkönen, and he's, driving for Alfa Romeo, the Sauber team. And I love Danny Ricciardo and, racing for Renault. These are just mid-pack teams that are never really going to break out. And you're putting the talent of these drivers in mediocre teams. And it's sad because it's sad for the teams because, if they had the kind of money that Mercedes and Ferrari had, they'd be doing the same thing. So I'd love to see them all drive spec cars that are identical, and then let's see who really is the best driver. Would I try it? For sure. I don't know how good I'd be, but I would definitely love to get an F1 car. I think I'd have to graduate, work your way up through the Formula 2000s or the IndyCar lights, and then kind of work your way through the open wheel cars, and then eventually get to a Formula 1 car. Because damn, they're rocket ships. They're rocket ships with 4 tires. So listen, I hope this, brightens your mood, picks you up. I hope you heal soon, recover fast. Always a pleasure to talk to you, Suzette. Thanks for checking in. Take care of yourself. Hey, Suzette. How are you, darling? Michael Trucco here. Round 6. I'm impressed, I have to say. I admire your tenacity, if there is such a thing when it comes to this. So let's get right down to it. I hope you're well. I hope things are good. Life is treating me well. I have no complaints. So it looks like you watched The Good Doctor. What a crazy, roll and ride that was for the week that I was in Vancouver. You asked me if Ethan was mean or delirious in the end. I think I would err on the side of the latter. I think that at least for me and what was going in my mind was the delirium, the effects of not only the medication but the effects of the impending death, and the dopamine that can release in the brain, and all the stuff that psychologically and neurologically can happen when one is facing their mortality is imminent. It makes you a bit delusional, and I think the delirium, it was rooted in meanness, and it was rooted in the history he had with Sean. But I think, his dying wish was to repent and to make amends with Sean. And the first scene, he attempts to do that, but by the time he gets to the end, he at least spews these hateful things. And I think that was just a bit of delirium. I hope that helps. What was your first thought when you got on stage for the first time? I hope I've got a clean change of shorts backstage. Man, that was so long. If you refer, are you talking in theater? Are you talking in on stage in music? Playing guitars. There's an adrenaline rush that you can't replicate in real life. There's something to be said for walking onto the stage, flying without a net, so to speak. Having no safety net. No take 2, if you will. It's, you're up and running, wheels up, and you got to fly. What was my first thoughts? My first time on stage was so many years ago. I was 15 years old or something like that. And I can tell you this, that though I can't specifically tell you what my first thought was, I can definitely tell you the adrenaline rush, the hit, the punch to the heart and the head and the soul was effective enough to want me to keep coming back for more. Which play was it? Oh, God. It was a play called Up the Down Staircase. And it was at Sarah High School in San Mateo, California. And it was the first time I'd ever been on stage or been in a play, let alone in the lead role. Great, typical high school play. Old school, but, very popular for the time. Which character from movie or TV would you like to meet in real life, and why? Which character? That's a good question. There's so many. I think one of the most compelling characters that I've seen of late on television was Walter White from Breaking Bad. I think Bryan Cranston absolutely crushed that.
could have been such a one-dimensional character, and I think he gave it life and humanity and sympathy, and yeah, I'd love to pick that guy's brain. What is your favorite line from your work and why? I'll see you on the other side. The dying words of Anders as he connects with Kara Thrace for the last time, I think are probably some of the most powerful and memorable words that I can remember that I've uttered in anything. I mean, you know, there's so many, but that's something that still sticks with me. It's something that I like to sign on pictures when I go to a convention and you know, or signing photographs for people. And it's something that seems to resonate with the fans. So I would have to say that see you on the other side would definitely fit the bill. I hope that answers your questions. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. Happy New Year. Roaring 20s. They're going to be good. I just feel it. Take care of yourself, Suzette. Hey, Suzette. Guess who? It's me again. Here we are. What is this, round 7? I'm impressed. You definitely are on the leaderboard in that category when it comes to cameos. So here we are. I'm going to refer to the screen, my cheat sheet here. It's got all your list of questions neatly played out for me. First of all, it says, hope you and Sandra okay. Thank you for asking. Yes, we are. Life is good. No complaints. Things are fantastic. It says here, you've written a script. Oh, it's a hypothetical. I've written a script. Okay. Who would be in your cast? Me. Suzette. I mean, if I'm writing a script and I'm getting something produced, damn it, I'm in it. I want to be in it. That's who. It's just me. I'm going to be like Eddie Murphy. I'm going to play every role in it. Okay? It's my jam. That's me. So there you go. If you weren't cast for Spoon, who should have been? You know what? There was Jensen. Shoot, I can't remember. There was the other guy. I guess, I don't know. If I didn't get cast, there was at least, I don't know, 3 or 4 of us up for the role when we tested for a network. You know, they narrow it down to a small group at that point, of which any of those candidates are qualified, and I was just the guy that was lucky enough to get the role. You know, I was right on that day. It doesn't mean I was any better or any worse than anybody else that was up for the role. So who could have gotten it was the other 2 or 3 guys that didn't. They all would have been qualified and equally as right for it. I just, like I said, it just the chips fell the way they did, and I was very fortunate that day. And so. Boy, I wish I could remember who it was. Kenny Johnson. One of them was a friend of Kenny Johnson who played Burner. Anyhow, well, he would have been it. So, it says here, you directed an episode of Pensacola. What did you learn from this? I did direct an episode. I got my DGA card from that many, many years ago. I think what I learned mostly from that was a sense of collaboration. That's what I find to be the most effective tool in making film and television is collaboration. It's got to be. There's and also always listen to the DOP. That's the director of photography. Trust your DOP. At least I should, because they know what they're doing. They're in control of the lighting and which lenses and you know, they have a great eye. I would communicate essentially what it is that I wanted to shoot, and a good director of photography gives great recommendations and advice on how to shoot it, what lenses to use, and where to put the camera. And so I learned, I guess it would go part and parcel with collaboration. You know, all the department heads. I wanted to hear from everybody, from the grips and from lighting and from the sound department, wardrobe, hair, makeup. Everybody has a say, an input in the process. And my goal was to respect that, and to honor that, and to listen to everybody's ideas, and eventually communicate what it is that I want to do. What we were trying to set out to make was this episode of television, and I wanted to hear what everybody else had to say about it. So that's what I learned. How do you deal with the mean things that you have to do and say as your character sometimes. Yeah, that's true, huh? You compartmentalize. It's not you. You know, at the end of the day, we're taking on a persona. We are walking in the shoes of a fictitious character, and it's our job to fully inhabit that character and deliver the lines as written. I didn't make them up. Some of the horrible things that you have to do and say are all part of the illusion. You know, it's drama, it's comedy, whatever it is. At the end of the day, let's be honest, it's make-believe, and so you just have to be able to divorce yourself personally from the character and know that the horrible things that you're doing or saying is all in the name of entertainment and make-believe. And the key is to be able to go home at night as yourself and come to set and be ready to walk in the shoes and wear the pants of that character and live that life as fully and honestly as you possibly can, and find reasons to justify the behavior. So I don't really think about it. You know, I don't directly think, oh man, this is a terrible thing to say to somebody. I did have an experience doing this short film a couple of years, not short film, independent film, a couple of years ago. I was playing a horrible character, mean father, and he did some terrible things to his daughter, and he says these horrible things to her. And when we shot that scene, immediately when the director yelled cut, I ran up to this poor girl and I said, are we okay? Just, and for that reason, like you were saying, you're voicing your concern, I just want you to know that, please understand all those terrible things. This is all character. And of course, she's young, but she's a professional and she totally understood. But her mom was off to the side because, she still had to have a chaperone. And I looked at her mom and I was like, please forgive me for saying such terrible things to your daughter. But they were actually very lovely about it because, what we do is, it's all part of the game. It's what we signed up for. So anyway, I hope you're good. I want to know if you're doing okay. And I want to thank you for participating in this as many times as you have, and knowing that your contribution is going to a great cause, to help the cause in Australia, in the Wildlife Foundation down there, and to aid and assist in any way we can. And so I'm doing my best, my part, little part, as small as it is, and you're contributing to that. So I've taken up enough of your time again, but Suzette, always a pleasure. Take care of yourself.